Hi, it's Miss Hernandez. It is Wednesday, April 29th, and it is time for our math lesson. Today, we're going to be working with pages 703 to 706, and the lesson is on how to convert units of length. So yesterday, we learned what an inch and a foot and a yard are, and we learned how to estimate length and then also to measure an item to the nearest inch, to the nearest half inch, and to the nearest quarter of an inch. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how we can convert units of length from one unit to another unit. So when we measure something, often we measure it in one way, and then we have to know what the equivalent amount is in a different unit. Let me give you an example. If you were to take a measurement for curtains, for example, you might take the measurement of your window in feet. But when you get to the store, you might find that they actually sell the materials in inches. And so you would have to be able to change your measurement from feet into inches in order to buy the materials that you need for the curtains for your window. So we often have to be able to convert or change the units from one unit to another. So today I want to teach you that one strategy that can help you to convert units of length is to use a ratio table. So first we have to know the basic conversion. So the basic conversions are 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. And we can abbreviate foot or feet with FT and inches with IN, okay? 1 yard, the abbreviation is YD, equals 3 feet. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So we can use those basic conversions to help us build a ratio table that will help us find more conversions, okay? So for 1 foot, we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, okay? So that means 2 feet would be 2 times 12, or 12 plus 12, right? Which is 24. I could double, since I doubled the amount of feet, I double the amount of inches. Now if I have 4 feet, I doubled the amount of feet again, right? 2 times 2 is 4. So if I double the amount of inches, 24 and 24 would be 48. Or I could also think 4 times 12 equals 48, okay? So now if I want 5, I can think 5 feet times 12 inches in each foot. 5 times 12 is 60. I could also say, okay, 4 feet is 48 inches. If I add 1 more foot to make 5, 48 plus 12 would give me 60. So you can use the conversions that you've already gotten to build the new number, okay? So now if I have 10, well, I'm doubling 5. So if I double the amount of inches, 60 times 2 would be 120. I'm doubling the amount of feet, so I double the amount of inches, or I could think 10 feet times 12 inches in each foot is 120. Now, if I want to do 9, I could say, okay, 10 or 9 is 1 foot less than 10. So if I take away 12 inches from 120, that would give me 108 inches, okay? So we can use multiplication, we can use the numbers that we have in our ratio table to help us build new numbers, okay? So that's a ratio table for feet to inches. Let's look at yard to feet, okay? So we know 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So if I double that, 2 yards would be 6 feet. And if I double it again, 4 yards would be 12 feet. Now, if I have 5 yards, I can think 5 times 3 is 15 feet. And now if I have 10 yards, I could double the amount of feet because that's double the amount of yards. So 15 times 2 would be 30. And then if I take 1 yard away from 10, I could take 3 feet away from 30. That would be 27 feet. Or I could think 9 yards times 3 feet is 27 feet. All right. For miles to feet, this one's going to be a little bit tougher because the amount of feet in a mile is pretty large. In 1 mile, there are 5,280 feet. So if I double that, I have to do 5,280 times 2, right? So I can go 0 times 2 is 0, 2 times 8 is 16, and I bring 100 over. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more 100 is 5, and then 2 times 5 is 10. So that's 10,560, okay? Now, if I double that amount again, 10,560, I'm doubling the amount of miles to 4, so I double the amount of feet. That gives me 0 times 2 is 0, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 11, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. So that's 21,120, okay? Now, if I have 5 miles, now what I can do is I can say, well, 4 miles is 21,120. Plus, I know that 1 more mile is 5,280. So I could add that together. 8 plus 2 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 5 plus 1 is 6, and then 2. So it's 26,400. Okay. Now, for 10 miles, I can either double the amount of miles in 5, or I can think to myself, well, 5,280 feet are in 1 mile. So if I make that 10 times larger, then every place value moves over 1. 5,280, right? Every place value moves over 1, and we place a 0 in the 1's place, and that makes it 10 times larger for 52,800. Now, if I want to do 9, what I can do is I can take the 52,800, sorry, and I could subtract 1 mile has 5,280, and I have to regroup. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 9 minus 8 is 1, 7 minus 2 is 5. I can't do 2 minus 5, so I have to regroup again. 12 minus 5 is 7, 47,510. Okay, so you can use a ratio table to help you build the numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our bookwork. So in the example, it says, Maria's dog, Corey, loves to jump into water. Corey's longest jump is 7 yards. How many feet are in 7 yards? You know the number of yards that you want to find and the number of feet, right? That are in each yard. So yards are a larger unit than feet. 1 yard is 3 times as long as 1 foot. So you can use multiplication. So if we want to know 7 yards equals how many feet, we could say, well, since 1 yard is 3 feet, 7 times 3 equals 21. So there are 21 feet in 7 yards. We can also use a drawing. So you see down here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, and it shows here there are 3 feet in a yard, right? So this would be 3, then 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and then 21 yards. So you can also use a drawing to check, okay? Let's take a look at page 704, the example 2. It says convert 3.5 feet to inches. So first we have to convert the feet. So we know that in 3 feet, each foot is going to have 12 inches. So 3 times 12 would give us 36 inches. Then we can convert the fraction. So since 1 foot is 12 inches, that means 1/2 of a foot will be 6 inches. So if we take 36 inches for the 3 feet plus 6 inches for the 1/2 of a foot, it equals 42 inches. So there are 42 inches in 3.5 feet. So now let's go ahead and complete the guided practice. It says, complete each conversion table to show measurement. So I have here inches to feet, and then it gives us and then we have to put it into an ordered pair here. So I know in 1 foot, there are 12 inches, okay? And so the ordered pair is 12, 1. In 2 feet, 2 times 12 is 24. So our ordered pair is 24, 2. In 3 feet, well, 3 times 12 would be 36. Then our ordered pair is 36 inches and 3 feet. For 4 feet, 4 times 12 is 48. So our ordered pair is 48 inches and 4 feet. Okay. Now, for yards, it's saying yards to inches. So this is a tricky one. So we know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard, right? So 1 yard is 3 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a yard. And in a yard, there are 3 feet, right? So this is 1 foot, 1 foot, and 1 foot to equal 1 yard, right? Okay, but this is inches. Well, I know that inside 1 foot, there are 12 inches. So 12 inches here, 12 inches here, and 12 inches here. So 12 plus 12 plus 12, or 12 times 3 equals 36, right? And that's 36 inches in 3 feet, which was equal to 1 yard. So that means 1 yard is 36 inches, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to make a ratio table that is going to help me with yards and inches, because when I look at this 108, I'm having a hard time figuring out how many yards that would be. So I'm going to make a ratio table and figure it out. So I'm gonna put yards on this side, and then I'm gonna put inches here, okay? So I already figured out that 1 yard is 36 inches, right? So now if I do 2, if I double that, 36 times 2 is 72. So now if I do 3, I can think, well, 72 inches is for 2 yards, plus 1 more yard would be 36 inches. So I can add 36 and 72. So my 6 ones and my 2 ones, that would be 8 ones, and my 3 tens and 7 tens would be 10 tens. So that would be 108. So if I go back to my yards here, I can see that it would be 3 yards because I used my ratio table to figure that out, okay? Now I'm looking here. Oh, I forgot, I have to make my ordered pairs, sorry. So this is 1 yard and 36 inches, and then this one is 3 yards, 108 inches. So for 216, I'm looking at that and I'm like, they just doubled 100 and 100 is 200, 8 and 8 is 16. So if they doubled the amount of inches, then what they did is they doubled the amount of yards here. 6 yards equals 216 inches, because if you double the amount of inches, we double the amount of yards. So now I put my ordered pair is 6, 216. Now 252, that's not double. So I'm gonna go back to my ratio table and I'm gonna say, okay, so I know that 6 yards was 216 inches. So let's see what 7 would be. So if I have 6 is 216 plus another 36. So 210 plus 30 would be 246, right? 216 plus 30 would be 246, plus 6 more, so 246, 247, 248, 249, 250, 251, 252. So 252. So now I look here, and that was this one. So that means that 7 yards is 252 inches, 7, 252. Okay. So remember, when it gets tricky, go back and make yourself a ratio table, okay? Have a great day. Go ahead and finish completing pages 703 to 706. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.